Interested in this trip? Our exclusive offer with Citibank will get you more than enough velocity points to take this flight. Stick around to the end of the video to learn more.
I'm at Adelaide Airport, and if you can't tell by the complete lack of people behind me, I'm going to board a ghost flight. Ooh.
Today's journey begins with a quick Virgin Australia flight between Melbourne and Adelaide. Looks like my next flight's already here. Well, it's currently 8 a.m. and I've got 4.5 hours to kill before my ghost flight. I've got Virgin Lounge access, might as well go use that. Yeah, little known perk there, if you've got lounge access at your departure city, you're also entitled to up to an hour at your arrival city, so I make good use of that. Adelaide's Virgin Lounge is delightful, might I add, very spacious, and hey, make sure to check out the sweeping views of IKEA while you're there. Food options are limited, but that expertly made coffee went down really well after an early morning flight. Once my hour's up, I head out past security to check into my international flight with Qatar Airways. Ooh, shiny. That's how you know it's fancy.
Well, as it turns out, the lounge you get access to is the Virgin Lounge anyway. So I've been here twice today on 2 different tickets.
Well, I certainly made use of that lounge. Time to head through security and...
Hey, hold up, mate. Where are you headed today?
Oh, I just flew in from Melbourne, but I'm heading right back on a different flight.
Wait, why are you flying straight back to Melbourne?
Oh, yeah, that does sound weird. How much time have you got? The Australian government currently allows Qatar Airways to run up to 28 return flights a week to Australia's major airports: Perth, Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane. Qatar Airways currently uses all 28 of these flights to service each of these cities with daily return trips to Doha. They're also given unrestricted frequencies to other Aussie airports, which they currently use for a daily direct flight to and from Adelaide. Here's where it gets a bit complicated. An additional 7 weekly return trips are permitted to the 4 major cities, as long as the flight connects to a secondary Australian airport. So, in order to service more customers out of Victoria, Qatar Airways starts all 7 of these flights in Adelaide, makes a quick stop in Melbourne to pick up most of its customers, and then progresses onward to Doha. Considering South Australians have the direct flight to Doha available to them, the Adelaide to Melbourne leg of this trip doesn't tend to have a lot of customers, if any.
Literally the only person boarding right now. Crazy.
Now, hypothetically, this flight could take domestic customers between Adelaide and Melbourne to fill the space. But no, the Australian government doesn't allow foreign airlines to carry domestic travellers within Australia.
Cheers. Thanks.
The result of all this? A practically empty plane from Adelaide to Melbourne. Except for me.
The thing I find most hilarious is I actually had to leave from Melbourne to Adelaide this morning just to fly back to Melbourne.
Why? Well, I'm flying on a business class reward seat to Doha, and although you can sometimes find reward seats for just the Melbourne to Doha section of this route, it wasn't the case for me. I could only find the seats that were left from Adelaide this time. Thankfully, this extra leg doesn't cost extra. It'll still be priced at 104,000 velocity points, plus around $450 in fees and taxes when booking through the Velocity website. This is the same for any direct flight out of Australian airports besides Perth, which gets to be a bit cheaper due to the distance. The flight is just under 90 minutes, so I'm delighted to discover I'm still entitled to a meal service, albeit with reduced options. I'm offered a trio of sandwiches, cheese, and a selection of fruits. A creamy raspberry cheesecake tops it off. It feels like a light meal compared to other business class flights I've been on, but I have to remind myself, this is just the entree for what's to come. And just like that, we're back in Melbourne.
Hi there. Good, thanks. Okay, cool. Okay.
As I step off my private jet, the staff make a point to inform me not to go anywhere, as we'll be boarding again in less than an hour. That sounds like a challenge.
I'm pretty sure we have to board again like minutes after leaving the flight. They just have to do some cleaning. Had to take everything with me. But I'm gonna check out the lounge.
Qatar Airways don't have their own lounge at Melbourne International, so their premium customers are granted access to the third-party Mahaba Lounge instead. It's a fairly modest space with 200 seats ranging from armchairs to tables and benches, and offers beautiful sweeping views of the tarmac. It doesn't quite match the luxury of my experience on Qatar Airways so far, but I'm not complaining. I still find a comfy leather seat with a power outlet and get to watch the runway for a few minutes. I head back to line up with the other business class passengers for priority boarding. No private jet experience here. It looks like it's going to be a full flight from here on out.
From Adelaide, and you're
Yes,
on A.
yes, I was the only one.
As I board, I notice every other seat is now freshly made up for our arrival, including mine.
So back on the flight, I don't know if this always happens, but you get a change of staff. off, which is kind of interesting. Coming onto the plane a second time does mean you get an extra refreshing towel, which I actually loved the first time, and a second welcome drink. So first time I went for the lime and mint, but this time it's like 3:30. It's time for a rosé. While I did really love having the entire plane to myself, I think it is good to give the staff something to do. I was a little overwhelmed by the amount of service I was receiving on the 1 hour flight between Adelaide and Melbourne.
From here, things proceed as if nothing weird ever happened. Now that I'm settled and feeling less watched by every staff member on board, I take some time to explore my surroundings. I'm very impressed by this thing next to me. It's a soft extension of my seat, but it also doubles as an armrest and a storage compartment. All of your seat and lighting controls are pretty straightforward as well. You've just got a little panel under the table to your left here. I appreciate the combination of both USB-A charging and a universal power plug. I also have a quick look through my amenity kit. Now, since I'm flying toward Doha, this comes in a nicely presented cardboard box. If you're flying out of Doha, you'll actually receive a full diptyque amenity bag instead. The contents remains the same though, including face cream, lip balm, body lotion, socks, and an eye mask. Once we're comfortably cruising, the dinner service begins. For the purposes of this video, I order an entree, 2 dinners, and a dessert. Fish or beef? How about both? This is more like it. I'm surprised to see so many Australian options on the a la carte menu and end up ordering 2 mains that hail from my past and present homes, Western Australia and Victoria respectively. The Western Australian barramundi and steamed veggies in Thai yellow curry sauce is perfectly cooked and full of flavour. As loyal as I am to my state of origin, it's the Victorian Gippsland beef tenderloin that really wins me over. Served on a bed of salty mashed potatoes and herb stew, it's the exact level of quality I'd expect from a high-end business class seat. I engage my dessert stomach for the raspberry white chocolate gâteau, and after all that, it's time to go to bed. I head off for a brief change in the business class bathroom. Side note, I love the loungewear that you get with this flight. I still wear it most nights, even now. And although it's still sunny outside as we rocket across Australia's bright red centre, I slide the door shut on my private suite. And I'm not exaggerating here. Get one of the best sleeps I've just ever had in my whole life. I cannot understate how good this sleep was. By the time I'm awake, we've already begun our descent to Hamad International Airport. The cabin crew leave me with one last departing gift, a box of 3 Arabic dates with various fillings. Mind rested, belly fed, I step off the plane ready to explore Doha. Even without the ghost flight involved, this will be a flight to remember.
And just like that, I'm in beautiful Doha, Qatar. Hang on, I'm staring directly into the sunrise. Let's put the sunnies on. If you would like to know how to book that flight for yourself, I've left some links in the description, including 2 credit cards that will help you score those velocity points as fast as possible. And if you would like to see what to do in a 24-hour layover in Doha, like I am right now, well, I'm going to go make that video right now. So hit subscribe if you would like to see that. And yeah, I'll see you over there. Let's go check out Doha.
By the way, PointHacks currently has an exclusive offer with the City Premier credit card. If you're a new card holder and fulfill the minimum spend requirement, you'll be awarded 100,000 velocity points plus an additional 10,000 velocity points just for signing up using our link below. The offer is live until the 31st of May, 2024.